Yo, welcome to the Question Mindset Podcast with your host, Olivier J. Darcis. Now, I'm always going to let you know in the beginning that this podcast is a home that gives you deep understanding on topics and questions that help you learn how to carry yourself better in life, that help you be a better believer in Christ, that help you be a better business owner, run your business a little bit better, and all these things to help take your life to a new level. Because God called your life to be special. God called your life to be a certain way. God called your life to be prosperous. And you just need to learn how to carry yourself better in life. You need to learn how to be a better believer in Christ. And if you have a business, you need to learn how to run it better and be a better owner, because it starts with you, like at the end of the day. But enough of all that extraness. But speaking on business, I was looking at myself. And of course, when I do these topics and questions, I either look at myself, other businesses, wherever God is leading me to talk about. And I was looking at myself, and I noticed that I go through seasons where I'm posting, I'm not posting. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And I've seen that in many businesses that I was in, from being a realtor, from even church, being a minister in church and doing what I'm supposed to be doing, like all these things. And like, I keep asking these questions because like I was reading, and the reason why this came up to me, because I was reading this book, The Entrepreneur Roller Coaster, because this Q1 I'm focused on books on entrepreneurship and just, resetting my mind, or just relearning the things, the foundational things on being a business owner and entrepreneurship. And it just brought up that, I just need to focus on the number one thing that I need to focus on. And me realizing that at that point in time, I wasn't really focusing on that thing, and I was focused on just everything else that was the second priority. What I'm saying is because after reading that book, after having that realization, or just that refresher in a sense, I noticed that I go through seasons where I do the things that I'm supposed to be doing and I don't do the things that I'm supposed to be doing. And I kept asking that question: why do I fall off? Why do I lose my focus? Why do I lose my attention? Why do I lose the diligence that I had at the beginning, when it was fresh, when it was ripe, when I was so hungry? And this can even be translated into your relationship with God, because in the beginning of your relationship with God or anything, you're so hungry, you're on fire, you want to do it, you want to do the hard stuff first, everything in that sense. And as I look at myself, and as I look at myself as, as human and everything that God says that I am, I noticed that there are two things that come into play that causes us to lose that attention, that due diligence, that focus. And not that they're gone and it's hard to get back, but it's just, you need to know what they are, and you need to know how to fight it for yourself. Because the first one being comfortability. And I know people say comfortability, don't be comfortable, don't be this, don't be that, be uncomfortable all the time. Yes. But I started to look at it deeper, and as to why they say comfortability, and why it's something that has been repeated over and over and over again. And let me say it plainly, man, as the number one thing, comfortability feels so good. Like, us as humans, we're emotional. We have emotions, we have feelings, and we run off of that. And we have anger, love, sadness, all these things, all these emotions, all these feelings wrapped up into one body, one flesh. And we tend to gravitate as human towards things that makes us feel warm, fuzzy, pleasant, all these things. And a majority of the time, those warm and fuzzy, not saying all the warm and fuzzy things that we feel are bad, because like even though I'm not even gonna get down that rabbit hole. Not to say all these warm and fuzzy things are bad. It's just that we need to pay attention when we feel these things. This is where you need to pay attention, because life can feel good. Life can feel good. You got things going on. You're either doing this or doing that causes you to have that warm and fuzzy feeling. But we need to pay attention whenever we feel those things and our emotions, and in that sense, because all those things can cause us to lose connection to pressure. And I want to say this in a sense. I want to start off by saying this. Pressure is the use of persuasion, influence, or intimidation to make someone do something, right? And the reason why I say pressure, and the reason why I say that as the first thing, and why we need to pay attention, because it causes us to lose our connection to pressure, because at the end of the day, God doesn't want us to be comfortable, right? God doesn't want us to live. God doesn't want us to live a comfortable life in general. He says we're gonna live a prosperous life. He says we're gonna live a life that has many things that He envisions for us, that in the eyes of humans are of wealth, high stature, high status, all these things. God has those things for us, but God, in His Word, God doesn't say we should live comfortably. He says we should continue pressing on, continue pushing forward, continue fighting the fight, and continue fighting the fight in reference to our faith, of course. Continue fighting the fight in reference of our faith, but in our faith, we need, in reference to our faith towards Him and in life, that has to be translated into every aspect of our life. We can't fall into comfortability, into those warm and fuzzy feelings that cause us to lose that connection to pressure, because we lose, or in that comfortability, we lose that focus or attention to what was driving us to doing what we're doing, right? We love God. We love a new business that we just started, but we get comfortable because of all the warm and fuzzy feelings, because things are going so well. You're enjoying the feelings. You're enjoying how you've been learning, whatever the case may be, for what gives you that warm and fuzzy feeling. It causes you to feel those things, and you begin to lose sight of what it is you was focused on. I know that because I felt that same way. Like, it was to the point where, because I was basking in so much comfortability and just enjoyment on these episodes, and I don't want to say too much, because it's gonna cause me to go into the second reason. But it causes me to get these warm and fuzzy feelings that causes me to lose sight of the bigger picture that I had. The thing that was giving me pressure in a sense, and I started falling back. I wasn't posting, wasn't meditating on what to talk about, wasn't even recording, wasn't editing, and wasn't doing the things and putting the things into play for the podcast, as the example that I said in the beginning. And we need to pay attention to whenever we feel these things. And whenever we feel these things, always reiterate the main goal for whatever it is we're doing, whether it's in life, for your family, your faith, your business, whatever the case may be. We need to realize that we're emotional, and these feelings can cause us to fall into these things that can disconnect us from pressure. And I want to say another reason why I use the word pressure, because pressure, like I said earlier, it's we have that thing in mind, and it causes us to we have that thing in mind, and that comfortability and those warm and fuzzy feelings causes us to lose sight or disconnection to that pressure, because pressure is so important. Like I said earlier, God doesn't want us to live a comfortable life. Continue pressing on, continue fighting the fight. Okay? We have to realize also, God called us, and I wrote that right here. God called us to live joyfully, but not comfortable. And we confuse the two because we find joy in being comfortable rather than being uncomfortable. Like we can find joy in the shortcomings that we have whenever we fall, whenever we come to short, because it's all a perspective thing at the end of the day. And we are meant to grow. We are meant to grow our understanding. We are meant to grow in life. And all of these things come through pressure, because look at a diamond, right? Look at a diamond, point blank. And everybody knows a diamond is formed through pressure, okay? A diamond is formed through pressure. And I use the word pressure because pressure is something that you need to keep. You need to keep that pressure forever. Like I said in previous videos, that one thing in mind that you have to keep is your vision and your mission, because you stay under and you move under that mission and vision. That mission and vision stays the same, and you just have goals that continue to keep you under that mission and vision. You have a focus, those goals keep you on track and in that mission and vision. And pressure is that constant thing, because it's that influence, everything that I said earlier. And the reason why I'm saying this is because to form a diamond is formed through constant pressure. It takes millions of years for a diamond to form. But when a diamond forms, everybody is in awe of it. Everybody puts value on that diamond. Everybody puts that diamond in like anything that has a diamond in it is considered something of high status or high stature, whatever is the best word to fit that category, right? And the reason why I use the diamond is because it's so crucial to understand that the pressure has to consist for a long period of time. And this is going to connect to number 2, but I also learned doing research on diamonds and pressure and understanding how long it takes for a diamond to make, because how long it takes for a diamond to form into a diamond. Because, diamonds can be made synthetically. And I'm going to go on a short tangent. Diamonds can be made synthetically, and you can, I guess, from how they make it, you can what's the word? You can, I don't know the right word for it. It's still on the tip of my tongue, but you can mimic the pressure that it goes through. But a synthetic diamond only takes a couple months to make. Rather, a true diamond takes millions, thousands, hundreds, like a lot of years, a lot of years and a lot of time to be made into a diamond. But even though a diamond can be made synthetically, it is far from the value of a true diamond. Far from the value of a true diamond. And the problem also with that is that sometimes it's hard to differentiate what type of diamond are we trying to form. Are we trying to form a true diamond in all the areas of our life, or are we trying to form a synthetic diamond? And as I'm saying these things, you guys are most of you guys are thinking, hey, I'm just talking about a diamond, but I'm talking about your blessings. I'm talking about your future. I'm talking about your life. I'm talking about your business. I'm talking about all these things. That are you trying to synthetically be prosperous, or are you trying to like, that's the right thing? Are you trying to be synthetically prosperous, or are you trying to walk into true prosperity? Because synthetic prosperity doesn't hold or have as much value as true prosperity. And not to even put a monetary aspect on it, but like that's man-made. Like that's like, at the end of the day, I'm going for things God made. I'm going for things God has for me. I'm going for things that God envisions for me. And all that comes through true prosperity. It comes through true pressure. It comes to maintaining that pressure for long periods of time, and just understanding like, yo, Yeah, I might be feeling warm and fuzzy and all these things, but I gotta focus. I gotta focus on that one thing that I need to focus on, so I don't lose sight of it. Because once I lose sight of it, who's to say I won't fall? Who's to say I won't lose or fall off track? And it takes forever or a long time for me to get back on, especially if I just walked into it. Especially, and that leads me to the next thing. Because then the talk about this pressure and is it consistent to forming and forming that true diamond, right? That true blessing for your life. Another thing that causes us to lose our attention, lose our focus, lose our diligence is feeling that we've done enough. And I said a little tangent on it earlier that dips me into that. But most of the time we feel like we've done enough. And of course, number one is because we feel those warm and fuzzy feelings because of the praise that we get from people. Majority of the time, the praise that we get from people gives us that warm, fuzzy feeling, tickles our ego and all that, and all that sense. And it causes us to just, all right, yeah, I'm getting the reaction I didn't know I needed, in a sense, because it's tickling your ego. It's stroking whatever feelings that you have. But at the end of the day, it's not about the feelings that we have. It's about the goals that we have in life. It's never about the feelings that we have. It's always about the goals and the vision and the mission that we have. And we need to be mindful to not bask in feelings and emotions, because that causes us to feel like we've done enough, to sit in comfortability, to lose the pressure, that influence that causes us to want to do something, and it causes us to just fall short all the time. Like, we get satisfied at the, hey, good job, you did good, you did this, you did that. And sometimes we can get satisfied by our bank account. We can definitely, like, whatever aspect in your life that causes you to feel like you've done enough, we need to watch that feeling. Because, like I said, even in the first thing that I mentioned, we're human of feelings and emotions. It caused, like, anything that causes us to feel that we've done enough, we need to be mindful of it. Because I want to ask you this question: how do you know if enough is enough? How do you know if enough is enough? Now, I know most people have a monetary value of, hey, if I have this amount in my bank account, or this amount saved up, or this or that, enough is enough. But when you get to that enough, there's gonna be another level of enough. Oh no, this is gonna be enough for me. But when you reach that, another level is gonna be enough, and the cycle repeats. And we need to understand that it can never be enough. But why do we act as if enough is enough? Look at our potential in life. We can never reach our potential. I believe we can never reach our potential until we pass away, until we die. That's when you have that cap, or you're capped at that point, because you can't do no more. Like, if there is stuff for you to do every day, if there's stuff for you to learn every day, then you have no potential, because you don't know what you don't know. And every day you wake up, you're continually learning what you don't know. If you're having the right experiences, if you're pushing to have experiences in life, if you're not just sitting on your ass all day and not doing nothing, if you're having intentional experiences, like you're continually learning every day, so you're reaching the next level, the next step of your potential every day. So enough is never really enough. Enough is never really enough. And Oh man. And as I think about the two ways that help me or always restart me and put me on the right path to walking in consistent pressure to achieving true prosperity, to to shy away from thinking or feeling that enough is enough in terms of what I'm doing, whether it's in faith, life, business, whatever the case may be. Like whenever I think of these two things, like I always I fall in love with them, but I always get conflicted because it's never like me walk, especially in the first one. Me walking in the first one, it's never how I envisioned it to be walking into it, because oh man, because like I'm gonna get into it. The first ways to fight those two things, comfortably feeling so good because of the warm and fuzzy feelings and feeling that enough is enough, is, and this first one is gonna be tricky because this first one has multiple parts to it. The first one is journaling, meditating, and constantly planning and readjusting. And the reason why I say it's multiple things, because so you need to start off with one, and then from starting off with one, you can build to have all these things. But you can't just jump into all these things. You have to start off with one, and usually it's meditating for most people because they don't really have that vision or mission in mind, and it takes constant meditation and prayer, waiting for God to speak to them, manifestation on what they truly want, for them to then walk into plan, like making their first plan, and then consistently planning and then readjusting to the plan as they learn and walk through that pressure in a sense. And but the reason why I say conflicted is because I feel like journaling is the glue for all these things, and journaling is, and when I say journaling, not diary journaling, however that helps if your mind is all over the place. What I mean by journaling is performance journaling, writing down your priorities, writing down your tasks for the day, asking yourself certain questions to align yourself to the path that you need to walk on for today, which is being uncomfortable and shying away from feelings of enough is enough. And the reason I say I'm conflicted is because like I want to journal a certain way, and this is a particular journal that I have. I'm just gonna say quick that it's too big. Like it's something that's minuscule, but I know how I work and I know how I move, and it's been encumbersome having a big journal and then trying to journal every morning and every night, especially with the way my life and work life, my life and business life is and spiritual life is with church and work and all these things that I'm doing. It causes me to be inconsistent in a way, but and I'm saying this because I'm learning it now that firm journaling consistently and firm doing all these things to help me shy away from these things, because I haven't done it for so long, which caused me to write about this topic in general. But I know what I need to. I recently learned what I need to do to journal consistently and keep the glue and all these three together. But you won't know these things until you walk in the first one, and then it all compounds. And these things are going to be like journaling, meditating, consistently planning and readjusting are going to be the things that is going to keep you focused. It's going to keep you to have constant attention. It's going to keep you to maintain your diligence or your discipline. And as I say these things, some people might be turned off that, oh, dang, man, it doesn't sound pleasant to constantly have all this tension or to be on 24/7. Like I'm always gonna say, it's like in journaling, in planning your days, in doing all these things, there's gonna be times where you have those down times and you're enjoying life. You're enjoying the pleasures God called you to enjoy and all these things. But you at the end of the day, you have to maintain that constant pressure. Because once you find and understand where you want to go in life, it takes discipline, and discipline is not easy, bro. Like people say it all the time, discipline is not easy, but you need to be committed to something to have discipline. You can't be committed to something and not have discipline, because at that point you're just indirectly saying you're committed to nothing. I feel as if that's the case. I feel as if you're committed to nothing. So start off with one and then work towards having all three, and then you'll see it. You'll see it. And come back to the comments in this video or DM me on Instagram, whatever the case, and say, yo, I've been doing what you said. I've been following it, and I've seen it, and I've seen what I learned about myself. I've seen how I've been needing to repivot and readjust because I've fallen short of journaling. I've fallen short of readjusting my plan or meditating or all these things, but I'm working on it and I see the difference in my life. Like, reach out, man. I love to see the growth in the people around me that watch these videos or that are just growing in life, and you relate to what I'm saying. Like, I love seeing that. I love having conversation with these people, with you guys, not these people. I love having these conversations with you guys. Now, and as I'm saying, I love having this conversation with you guys. The second thing, and I feel like God showed me a new perspective of the second thing, because I'm gonna say the second thing plainly. Second thing is you need to interact with the three groups of people with intention. Group one is mentors or leaders. Group two are people who are where you want to be that aren't your mentors or your leaders. And group three are your peers who are around your same stage of growth and development. And the reason why I said God showed me a new perspective of this, because everybody says you are who you surround yourself with. And yes, I believe that. That's why I said the last group, to be exact. But yes, that's the case, because people can indirectly influence you. And also this, I was speaking to somebody at a network event, and he led me to say this. I didn't know this or had this idea. I didn't know this, or I didn't have this philosophy to begin with. The Lord just led me to say it. And he said, yeah, I'm at this networking event to grow my network, because my network is my net worth, right? And I believe that's true, but I feel like it's an unfinished statement, because yes, your network can be your net worth, but if you're not intentional with that network, how are you growing your network? Don't come from a perspective of, like, when it comes to the network in that statement, don't come from a perspective on how can they add value to me. Always come from how can I add value to them. And I feel like that's where it builds your net worth, because now you have it's a sense of collaboration rather than you're networking with them for the sole purpose for you to use them to make your business better, make your life better, or all these things. That's why I said you have to interact with the three groups intentionally, because whether you build your network from gaining more mentors or more leaders in your life, from actually building your network from people who are where you want to be in life, success wise, financially, whatever aspect you want to grow in your life, and whether with people who are on the same stage of growth in life, because there is some value that you guys can teach each other. But I learned from actually one of my pastors, Pastor Winnie. She said, no peers. I believe she said this. She says, you can't learn from your peers. It takes humbleness and humility to learn from your peers. So if you're on the same stage of growth as somebody, true value comes in when you walk into humbleness and humility. Because if you don't, you won't truly receive whatever it is they learned, because you're on the same stage of growth, but you might be learning two different things. You're focused on two different things. But if you collaborate and interact with each other intentionally, who's to say your growth won't compound even more, because you walked in humility, you walked in humbleness, things that God calls you and tells you to walk into as your human nature. And I say human nature because I'm gonna talk about that on another episode. Shameless plug. But even though God calls you to walk in these things, like you will see your growth, bro. Like straight up, straight up, and you will see your growth. But it all starts with the level of interaction and your intention with these three groups. It's simple, but it's not easy, because it's hard to be mindful of all these things as you're growing, as you're having these experiences. That's why sometimes, like, even if you watch the previous episode that I did on education, you will see, as you learn and grow and learn all these new concepts that either I'm teaching you or you learn somewhere else, it's going to be hard to be mindful of all these things. But if you follow the methods that I gave you in that episode, you will understand the flow you need to have to be mindful truly within the experiences that you have, to be mindful in every aspect of your life as you're learning and growing and implementing what you learned. It all starts there. At the end of the day, my name is Olivier J. Darcisse, helping you to do life well and do it with God. Learn how to carry yourself and implement these things in your life. Learn how to be a better believer in Christ. And learn how to run your business a little bit better, and learn how to be a better business owner. It all starts here. It all starts implementing these things. But it all starts with you, bro. Peace.